my people. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Temple Beth Shalom. Those of you who haven't been here before, we are so grateful to have you here. And of course, those of you from Temple Beth Shalom, welcome home. It's always exciting to be back in here and to be in this wonderful space, and especially to spend Shabbat together and to be able to celebrate this wonderful, beautiful day that God has given to us, as well as to celebrate as a young woman is called to Torah as a bat mitzvah. So we are honored to be able to celebrate with Lauren today. I'd like to personally thank Lauren for the permission to wear the tennis shoes. Thank you. There you go. Excellent. So it's kind of a nice thing. There you go. So that's why the sneakers are on. It's good because it means we're going to dance with Torah today. Exactly. All right. So before we begin, I'm going to invite you, if you have a cell phone or anything like that, go ahead and turn it into the off position. And that way we can focus on being in here together and be able to be in this wonderful space together. And we have our professional photographer. He's in the back capturing all of the moments. We will get plenty of selfies with Lauren later on. I promise I'll be posting mine afterwards. So we're going to stay off of Facebook, off of Twitter, Snapchat, and anything else for the next couple of hours so we can really focus on one another. But we are definitely wanting to say Shabbat Shalom and welcome to those of you who are streaming with us with our services. While you may not be able to be here with us in person, we are grateful that you are able to join us via amazing technology. So Shabbat Shalom to you, and sing along with us too. So with that, with singing, warming up our voices, Cantor Reinwald, will you please help us warm up our voices?
We join together in this melody known as an yvone. This is a melody that has no words, as we just sing on the syllables yellalai, so we can focus on how the music makes us feel as we warm up our mind, body, spirit, and voice. As we sing with a smile, please join in. Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la, yalla la la, yalla la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla yalla la, yalla la yalla la, yalla la la la, yalla la la la, la 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 la. Might have gathered, Shabbat services is participatory. This is not a performance. This isn't a great hockey game that Lauren is going to be skating and going for those goals, and we all get to go, goal! No, we're not doing that during the service. But this is an opportunity for us to join together in worship and reflection and to really be looking at all of the blessings that are in our lives. So in order to do that, we need a couple of tools. First of all, we need our prayer books, our Sudarim, which are right in front of you, or those of you in the front row, they are underneath your seats there. And so it's great to be able to follow along in the prayer books. Yep, there you go, Maxine. You had one right there. Do you need another one? Here you are. There you go. And so within our prayer books here, you will notice, especially Lauren's friends. Hi, guys. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Nice shoes. I like them. All right, so looking at your prayer books there, guys, what do you notice about these books? They're backwards, exactly. Well, they're backwards if all we're doing is reading English. And reading, English, we go from left to right. But when we're reading Hebrew, we're going to go from right to left. So therefore, the book is going to open on the opposite side. Now, when we open up the prayer book on any page, go for it, Cameron. Go ahead and open up any page. Perfect. There you go. You have on the right-hand side where you see Hebrew, those kind of strange-looking letters there. We know that not everybody knows how to read Hebrew, so we have the transliteration in the left-hand column. So you can follow along. Feel free to sound out some of the words if you like to throughout the service. Now, we're not always going to translate everything that we're going to do. So therefore, if we do a prayer only in Hebrew, the translation is directly below it. If you want something that's a little bit different, another type of meaning of a prayer that we're doing, also you can look on the page on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side, because they give some different interpretations of some of the blessings. I invite you, get lost in the prayer book. It's a good thing, because there's a lot of beautiful prayers, there's a lot of beautiful readings that can be inspiring and thoughtful, because we're all in different places throughout our lives and throughout our days. We promise to get you back on the right page. And speaking of knowing which page we're on, you're going to notice in these prayer books at the bottom there are two different sets of numbers. There are numbers in the black and numbers in the blue. We are going to be focusing today on the numbers in the blue. The reason why is because Lauren has her prayer book, which is, you can hold it up. There you go. She's got the weightlifter one there, which contain all of the different services from Mishkan to Tefillah. And so therefore, her page numbering, because it's the entire prayer book, whereas we just have the Shabbat volume here. There's another volume for festivals and weekdays. She has the full volume, so she's going to be calling out page numbers from her book, and those are the numbers in the blue. So that's what we want to be keeping our eye on. Lauren's also going to be telling us when to stand and when to sit, because you'll notice this prayer choreography that happens. How we pray, that we pray not only with our words and with our voices, but we also pray with our bodies. So there's times that we'll stand, it's a form of respect, and you'll even notice sometimes that there are moments where we will bow in humble reverence before God too. So you're going to see a lot of this happening throughout the service. I invite you, participate as you feel comfortable. Be a part of the service. Sing along with Lauren, please. Feel free, by the way, there's no italics in this prayer book, which we've all been conditioned, oh, italics, I read. We don't have that in this prayer book. The reason why is that it's a prayer book that's meant for everybody. Sometimes you just want to reflect and you want to listen to the person who's doing the reading. Other times, though, you may want to read along. Feel free. Lauren's prepared to hear other voices reading along with her. So allow this to be not only a service that Lauren is leading, allow it to be our Shabbat service. And we invite you to participate with that. Now we pray also with what we wear. We have the kippah, the yarmulke, reminding us of God's presence all around us. And we have the talit, the prayer shawl. That is a reminder of the 613 commandments that God has given to us. Well, when a young man becomes a bar mitzvah, which Brent, you did a couple of years ago, he received his first talit. And when a young woman becomes a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandments, a young adult within the Jewish community, she receives her first talit. So it is my honor to call forward her grandparents, Andy and Sidel Walensevich, to come and join Lauren right here at the Amud as they present you with your first talit.
Today we are proudly giving you two tally tot. The first one was your great Uncle Leo's, which he passed on to me when I became Jewish. And now I would like to pass it on to you for safekeeping, so you may pass it on to another generation, thereby keeping his memory alive.
The second talit we give to you as you take on the responsibilities of being a Jew. We know you will wear it with pride and a sign of our tradition.
We would also like, well, let's do this first.
Okay.
This one.
Is Uncle Leo's?
From Uncle Leo. We'll just put it up here. And here's your new one.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal soul of the universe, who makes us holy through the mitzvot and commands us in the wearing the fringes on the corners of our garment.
We would like to leave you with some thoughts about being yourself. If I can turn the page.
Okay. Lauren, be yourself, for you are the only one who truly knows you, the only one who can express your genuine feelings, the only one who can find the sincere meaning of your life.
Be yourself. Don't be afraid to show your true colors. Be independent. It does not matter who accepts you and who doesn't, or how many friends you have, because the ones that love you for who you are, the only ones that matter.
Lauren, be yourself. There should never be anything holding you back, because everyone serves a purpose. Everyone shines bright, but only you know who you truly are. Be yourself.
I'd like to invite forward also for a special reading and blessing Linda and Sam Cohen and Taffy and Stu Sitzman.
It was shortly after Lauren's birth, 4,785 days ago. Andrea and Jay asked if we would consider the role of godparents to their little girl. They felt that we would be role models for Lauren because of our devotion to each other, our sense of Judaism, tradition, and of family. With such wonderful accolades, we accepted our new roles with the full knowledge that these same accolades were manifested in her parents and grandparents. We were now all partners in Lauren's development, and we're delighted to be honored in this way.
Of the many themes in today's Torah portion, one that stands out is the concept of choices. Choice to accept God, help our neighbor, choosing good over bad, living honorably and with honesty, knowing right from wrong, and the list goes on. It is obvious on this, her bat mitzvah day, Lauren has positively filled her 13 years with many of these choices that are reflected in today's Parsha. Choices that make us all so very proud.
Lauren chooses to do well in school, and she succeeds. She is inquisitive and questioning, always with the intent of making her own right choice. She loves to investigate and try new things and discover how they work. Lauren has no fear in trying these new things for herself when she does. She puts her best effort forward to master these choices.
With her choice to play hockey, Lauren has learned that not only is individual effort a choice in life, but working hard to become the best you can be is essential. In addition, being part of the team, a group, our religion, they are all choices that, when chosen well, lead to a happy and rewarding life. We are proud of Lauren's past and look forward to her future successful choices in the years to come.
Mazel tov.
We join together in singing Modeh Moda Ani, page 186.
Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shechazarta bi nishmati v'chemla, v'chemla, Rabbi emunatecha, Rabbi emunatecha, moda ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shechazarta bi nishmati v'chemla, v'chemla, Rabbi emunatecha, Rabbi emunatecha.
I'd like to invite forward now Eileen Anderson and Brian Cummings to please bring their blessing.
Lauren, it matters that the world knows we must celebrate the gift of life every day in some way, and we must always remember to play after the storm.
It matters that the world knows all children are truly blessed with the innocent gifts of gentleness, trust, and compassion, which should guide the wisdom of the grown-ups.
It matters that the world knows we all have a song in our heart that can inspire us in good times and hard times if we take the time to listen.
It matters that the world knows our senses help discover the hidden and non-hidden enchantment in life if we use them fully.
It matters that the world knows we must carefully choose our words and wants, or we could forever hurt others with these dangerous weapons.
It matters that the world knows strength and value of all things created must be measured by character and commitment rather than by might and wealth.
It matters that the world knows we must heed the lessons of everyday life through the celebration of children and heart songs, senses and words, or we could lose in our journey to the future.
And Lauren, it matters that the world knows a person by your name and being existed with a strong spirit and eternal mindset to become a peacemaker for all by sharing the things that really matter.
Feel free, definitely. We turn to page 224, Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון וחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו.
Amen. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה במהרו.
Amen. As we rise now for Baruch Hu, page 226.
Yai, nay, 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 nay,
Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, osei shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reshit, ma rabu Adonai kulam b'chochma asita, mala ha'eretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yefarucha selah.
Or Chadash Ad Zion Tahir, 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 V'nizke kulanu b'mheira le'oro, v'nizke kulanu b'mheira le'oro. Or Chadash Ad Zion Tahir, Or Chadash Ad Zion Tahir.
Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Please join me on page 231. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light-blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch Atah Adonai, Haboher Ba'amo Yisrael Ba'ahava.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'eh. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'eh. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu,
continue chanting together the Ve'ahavta on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'elech asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinotam levanecha v'divartam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'eftecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtaftam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 240 singing Mi Chamocha.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha ne'edam HaKodesh Norah tehilot Oseh Felech, Norah tehilot, Oseh Felech. Shir HaChadasha, Shibichu Gevuli, L'shimcha asifat hayam, Yachad kulam, Hodu ve'imlichu, ve'amelu. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Sur Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Ufedeinu Mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Ga'a Yisrael Amen Adonai Sifata Tiftach Ufi Hagita Hilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מקלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר,
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו.
אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה.
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא יבוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Amen.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We join together on page 250 as we sing Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם ואותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת,
השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue on page 252. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, reitzei v'imnuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein helkenu v'toratecha, sabe'enu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libenu le'ovdecha, be'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha v'yanuchu va Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha Baruch ata Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. We continue on page 254. Reitzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael utfilatam be'ahava tekabel uthi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha el karov lechol korav pnei el avadecha v'chanuhu shefoch ruchacha aleinu v'techazena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion b'rachamim Baruch ata Adonai hamachazir shehinato l'tzion. Please join me on page 257. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'el lehodot.
So we turn to page 258 and we join together with Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Hein v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'ako Yisrael, ve'ako Yisrael amecha. Baruchenu yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad, be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha natzata lanu,
Ve'ako Yisrael, Ve'ako Yisrael Amecha. Torah Chaim Ve'ahavat Chesed, Ve'ahavat Chesed, Tzedakah u'bracha v'rachamim, v'chayim v'shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova u'bracha, ein v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'ako Yisrael, ve'ako Yisrael Amecha. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, אין וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו. Ve'ako Yisrael, Ve'ako Yisrael Amecha.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Hashem.
המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We continue in silent meditation.
Lauren, may the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen us, O Lord, and keep us from the stranger's ways. May God bless you, Lauren, and grant you a long life. And may God fill a Sabbath prayer for you. May God keep you and shield you from strife, and in His wisdom always care for you. Lauren, may the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. Favor her, O Lord, with happiness and peace, or hear a Sabbath prayer. Amen. Amen, 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 amen. Lauren.
Good to have a cantor in the family. Cantor Aryeh Schickler, thank you so very much for bestowing those beautiful blessings upon Lauren and also upon all of us. And I'll let you go back over there for a little bit and have a seat there. For we turn now to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah. And Torah, as we know, it's the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it is all contained within one scroll, and there it teaches us our history. It gives us words of wisdom. It provides us with those 613 mitzvot that we are reminded about on the tzitzit, on the fringes that are on the corners of our garments, of our talitot specifically. Now, Torah has been around for a very, very long time. Generation and generation and generation. Over 2,200 years at least. And what's beautiful about it is that this text that has been around for so long is one that is still living. It's one that is still growing with us. It is a text that continues to inspire us. No matter how ancient it is, we can always find something new in it. We actually call Torah an Eitz Chaim, a tree of life, because it continues to grow. What is beautiful about Torah is that we read throughout the entire Torah, throughout the whole year, and we're getting to the end of that reading of Torah. So we're in the book of Deuteronomy, of Devarim, and we hear all these stories and we're asked to interpret them and say, what do they mean to us today? Well, the beauty of today is that Lauren is not only our student of Torah, she is our teacher. So today, not only will Lauren be reading from Torah, chanting from Torah along with other family members, but she's also going to be our teacher. She's going to take these words and enlighten us on how they truly have meaning in our lives at this moment and what we can learn from them and grow with. Now, also, you'll notice that there's only 2 Torahs in our ark right now. On August 30th, all of our Torahs will return to our ark, and we hope that you all can join us. You're all invited at 4:30 on August 30th as we return the Torahs to the ark. But the 2 Torahs that are in there, one is a scroll that Lauren will be reading from. It's Torah Shalom. It's a scroll that actually we as a congregation wrote together a number of years ago. The other Torah is actually our oldest scroll in the ark. It is over 275 years old. And it is a scroll that was rescued from Eastern Europe. It was a scroll that when the Nazis tried to defeat us, tried to destroy the Jewish people, they destroyed our synagogues, our places of worship, but before doing so, they removed a number of the Torah scrolls, put them into a warehouse, waiting to then create a museum to what they were hoping was going to be the lost people. We as Jews are far from being lost. Well, those Torah scrolls after World War II, they were then distributed to hundreds of congregations throughout the world. And we are very fortunate here at Temple Beth Shalom to have one of those scrolls. We call it the Czech scroll from Czechoslovakia. And so while it is not whole, it is not complete yet, God willing, in a few years, maybe we will make it whole and complete again. It is whole, it is complete, it brings wholeness and completeness because, you see, we don't just leave that Torah scroll in the ark. We've started a new tradition just a couple of weeks ago, and that tradition is that our B'nai Mitzvah students, when they do the Hakafah, we take that scroll, we pass it from one generation to the next and into your arms, Lauren. And Lauren will then carry that scroll around our congregation as a couple of reminders. One, it is not that we worship Torah, we don't, but it's a reminder that Torah belongs to each and every one of us. And it is each and every one of our responsibilities to care for it, but not just to leave it unopened in an ark. It is our responsibility to open it, to read from it, to learn from it, to even challenge it. Don't just take it for face value. Ask questions, wrestle with it. That's what we're supposed to do. So when you carry this scroll that was probably carried by hundreds of other B'nai Mitzvah over 275 years ago, know that you are a part of that chain of tradition. And also, you carry it not just today, but you help us carry it into the future. Because you are not only a student of Torah for today, we are all students of Torah today, tomorrow, and generations to come. So allow us to continue with our service of our reading of Torah as we turn in our prayer books now to page 300, excuse me, I lost my page there. Let's see here.
362.
Thank you, to page 362 with our Seder Kriyat HaTorah as we begin this wonderful journey together.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עמים, וממשלתך מכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוזלמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Throughout our morning's Torah service, we will be blessed by many members of the Wasserman family. And so first, I'd like to acknowledge Cameron Cummings. You're going to stay right there. You will be holding the Torah cover there for us in a few moments. And also passing Torah from one generation to the next. I'd like to invite to stand right here in the front, Maxine Wasserman, along with Andy and Sidel Walensevich, next to Jay and Andrea, and finally Lauren right here at the end. And I'd like to invite forward, opening our ark doors, Pearl and John Rousseau, and Madeline and Ronnie Grant to please come forward. And we rise together. Av harachamim, heitiv avitzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'chol levad batachnu, melech ram v'nisa Adon olamim. Page 364. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav. So as we have said, it is Torah that is truly our gift that has been given to us. And our responsibility is then to carry it on into the future. Each of you, you have held this precious gift in your arms and within your heart and within your soul. And you have given it to your children, to Jay and to Andrea. And today, you give this gift to your daughter, to Andrea. Oh, to Lauren. Oh my gosh, hi. Oh, you know, okay. So Lauren, this is your gift of Torah. Hold on to it tightly. And may its weight always keep you rooted in tradition, but also may it lift you up and inspire you always as we walk in the light of Torah.
Lecha Adonai hagidula vehagevura vehatiferet vehanetzach vehahod ki kol bashamayim u'ba'aretz ki kol bashamayim u'ba'aretz Lecha Adonai הממלכה והעמית נעשה לכל ראש. השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, העולם עומד. השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
So I'm going to go ahead and before you're seated, those of you who would like to come up and see a Torah scroll, if you've never seen one and always wanted to see one up close, or it's been a while and you'd like to see a Torah scroll up close, I invite you to come forward, come on up. So anybody want to see, any of her friends want to come up? Yeah, there we go. If you'd like to come up and see it, absolutely, come join me. Come on over. This is ours. Yeah, no, this is a congregation's one. So, and if you're not coming up, you're welcome to be seated. But if you'd like to come up, come on up. Come gather around. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. I don't bite often. All right. So, hello. Come on. You can come all the way around. Feel free. Come over in the front here. It's all good. So, first of all, the Torah, because it is a scroll there, it is, it's, you got to scroll, so you need to bind it together. So Lauren and all of our 7th grade class, we went ahead and they made their own, you're just going to roll, there we go. They made their own Torah binders. You take this side, I'll take this. There we go. And you all get to see the artistry of Lauren Wasserman. So we're always so honored to have our B'nai Mitzvah students, here we'll go on this side too, so you guys can see in the back. There you go. To be able to see, to have our B'nai Mitzvah students wrap Torah with a little bit of them. So Torah is all natural. It's made from parchment, which comes from a kosher animal. A kosher animal is any animal that has split hooves and chews their cud. Name an animal that is kosher then. Goat, perfect. A cow, very good. So you can see even some of the coloring here on the back side of the parchment, represents the animal. So, and the different coloration of it. Now, the Torah scroll is all handwritten. Cameron, you want to hold on right there? There you go. Lauren, grab a hold. Perfect. So it is all handwritten by a scribe. Scribe takes about a year to handwrite a Torah scroll. Even as much technology. You want to come closer so you can see? Come here. There you go. Perfect. So usually a scribe will sit down and either with another Torah scroll or with what is called a tikkun, a book that has how the Torah is written and copies it letter for letter, word for word, paragraph for paragraph, because we are not allowed to change anything in Torah. We can't add any words and we can't take any away, which also means, by the way, there are no vowels in the Torah or punctuation. So when you looked in your prayer books earlier, you saw the little dots and dashes and so forth in the Torah. That is not in here. So when Lauren gets to read from Torah, along with other family members, they are reading without vowels, but they've been practicing, right? Okay, good. Brent, we're good. Aryeh, you're set, right? Yeah, he's got it. So, wait. I'm sorry. Are you practicing right now? No, okay. Even cantors and rabbis have to practice, okay? It's not born within us. But really, if you think about it, if I was to give you all something written in English without any vowels, you'd be able to read it because you know the language. After the diaspora, after Jews were dispersed throughout the whole world and started living in different countries and speaking different languages, they started to change the language. And if you change the vowel in a word, it's going to change the meaning. So the rabbis went ahead and created the vowel system to make sure it was all consistent and we were all saying the same thing. But again, the rule is don't add anything to the Torah. So we couldn't put any vowels in here. Now, if you look very, very closely, the columns are very, very straight, right? Well, they actually will mark in the parchment there, so that way the scribe knows exactly how to write and where to write, and even with the letters, will you come here, look really closely. See the letters? See the lines? Are the letters hanging or sitting on the lines? They're sitting. You want to look closer? Here's the bottom of the line. There's the top of the line. You think it's hanging? Yeah, it's hanging from the line. So the top of the letter is literally hanging from the top of the line. A little different than how we write, huh? So beautiful midrashim with that as well that I can share another time with you guys. But here's the clincher. If a scribe makes a mistake, what does the scribe have to do? Yes?
Rewrite the entire scroll?
Not the entire scroll, thank goodness, but close to it. If the scribe makes a mistake and cannot scrape it off, cannot correct it, then, yes, we have to take out, as you can see, there's actually sections of the scroll, which are about 4 or 5 columns, depending on the scroll itself. And if they make a mistake, could you imagine being at the last word, making a mistake and going, nuts, and having to redo that whole sheet? Yeah, not a fun thing to do. But the last thing I'm going to leave you with is that the ink that is made for writing a Torah scroll, it's all natural, comes from all sorts of different natural products, but the best last ingredient to make all the letters nice and shiny, honey. So Torah should be sweet on our lips. So, yeah, no licking the scroll. Actually, I should be looking at you. Yeah, I should be. So there you go. Any questions? Any answers? No? Okay. All right. Well, with that, would anybody like to read from it here? As they quickly go down. All right. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Lauren. You can go have a seat. Yeah, definitely. So, and we are almost toward the end here of our reading. So we're in Parashat Re'eh, the book of Deuteronomy. And so we are going to call forward for our first aliyah, for our first reading of Torah, for the blessing, Maxine Yamdu, Maxine Wasserman, Masha bat Avram Vasara, Sydney Lanter, Shlemi Chaim bat Yachatzla Lillian, Beth Schickler, Bat-Sheva, Bat-Bero, Huni, Vamasha, Alexandra Frenzy, Ilana Lea, Bat-Sheva, And Joe Franzi, Yosef ben Devora, Likro Lali ala Torah, reading from Torah, our cantor Aryeh Shikler, Yamod Hechazan Aryeh ben Moshe v'Shulamit, Likro Batorah. Reading our English translation will also be Alexandra Franzi. Okay. So, all right, and then we'll go ahead and close as they do the blessing. Thank you.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
שמור את חודש האביב, ועשית פסח לאדוני אלוהיך, כי בחודש האביב הוציאך אדוני אלוהיך ממצרים לילה, וזבחת פסח לאדוני אלוהיך צאן ובקר, במקום אשר יבחר אדוני לשכן שמו שם, לא תאכל עליו חמץ, 7 ימים תאכל עליו מצות לחם עוני, כי בחיפזון יצאת מארץ מצרים, למען תזכור את יום צאתך מארץ מצרים כל ימי חייך, ולא יראה לך שאור בכל גבולך 7 ימים, ולא ילין מן הבשר אשר תזבח בערב ביום הראשון לבוקר.
You shall observe the month of Aviv and perform the Pesach offering for Adonai your God. For in the month of Aviv at night, Adonai your God freed you from Egypt. You shall slaughter the Pesach offering for Adonai your God from the flock and the herd in the place where Adonai will choose to establish his name. You shall not eat anything leavened with it. For 7 days you shall eat matzah, the bread of affliction. For you departed from the land of Egypt in haste, so that you will remember the day of your departure from the land of Egypt all the days of your life. No leaven shall be seen in your possession throughout your territory for 7 days, nor shall any flesh that you offer on the afternoon before the first day remain overnight until morning. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'telchenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the second Aliyah LaTorah, we invite forward for the blessing Yamdu, Mike Blitz, Michael David, Ben Pinchas, Moshe, Ronan Laila, Sharna Blitz, Sarah Rivka Bat Avram, Mordechai, V'Brucha Malka, Likro Laliyat Torah. For reading from Torah, Riva Blitz, Tamod, Rivka Etel Bat Michael David, V'Sar Rivka, Likro La Torah. And you'll also be reading the English translation. So with that, if you want to make sure, okay, mark that, where's the first word? There you go. Okay, we'll go ahead and close. Okay.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Lo tuchal lizboach et hapasach be'achad she'arecha asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha noten elah ki im el hamakom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha l'shakein shemo sham. Tizbach et ha-pesach ba'arev kivo hashemesh moed setecha mimitzrayim uvishalta ve'achalta b'makom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha bo ufanita v'boker uvalachta le'ohaleha Sheshet yamim tochal matzot uvayom hashvi'i atzeret ladonai Elohecha lo ta'aseh melacha. You may not slaughter the Pesach offering in any of the settlements that Adonai your God gives you, only in the place where Adonai your God will choose to establish his name. There alone shall you slaughter the Pesach offering in the evening at sundown, the appointed time of your departure from Egypt. You shall roast it and eat it in the place which Adonai your God will choose. And in the morning you may start back on your journey home. For 6 days you shall eat matzah, and then on the 7th day you shall hold an assembly to Adonai your God. You shall not perform any labor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
For our third reading of Torah, for the blessing, L'Aliyah, Yamdu, Sidel Walensevich, Shprinza bat Avram Yosef Vasara Leah, Andy Walensevich, Aryeh ben Avraham Vasara, Andrea Wasserman, Avrahama Yosefa bat Aryeh Vesprinza, Jay Wasserman, Yosef ben Beryl-Huni V'masha L'Aliyah Torah. Reading from Torah, Yamod, Brent Wasserman, Baram Sur ben Yosef Avrahama Yosef Alikra la Torah. There you go.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Ba'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Shiv'a Shavuot Tispor Lach Mehachel Chermesh Bakama Tachel Ispor Shiv'a Shavuot Ve'asita Chag Shavuot Ladonai Elohecha Misat Nidvat Yadecha Asher Titain Ka'asher Yevarechecha Adonai Elohecha V'samachta Livnei Adonai Elohecha Ata Uvincha Uvitecha Ve'avdecha Ve'amatecha Ve'halevi Asher Bisharecha Ve'hager V'hayatom V'ha'almanah Asher Bekirbecha B'makom Asher Yivchar Adonai Elohecha L'shakein Shemo Sham V'zacharta Ki Eved Hayita B'mitzrayim V'shamarta V'asita Et HaChukim Ha'eleh.
You shall count 7 weeks. Start to count the 7 weeks when the sickle is first put to the standing crop. Then you shall observe the festival of Shavuot for Adonai your God offering your free will contribution commensurate with how much Adonai your God has blessed you. You shall rejoice before Adonai your God, you, your son, your daughter, your slave, your maidservant, the Levite who is in your communities, the proselyte, the orphan, and the widow who is in your midst, at the place that Adonai your God will establish God's name. You shall remember that you were slaves in Egypt, so shall you take care to observe these laws.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tortenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful. As we prepare now for our maftir, for our final reading of Torah.
Ta'amod habachura habat mitzvah Leah aviva bat Yosef ve'Avraham Yosef al aliyah haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Chag HaSukkot ta'aseh lecha shivat yamim be'os pecha migornecha umiyigvecha v'samachta bechagecha ata uvincha uvitecha ve'avdecha va'amatecha v'halevi v'hager, v'hayatom, v'ha'almanah, asher bisharecha, shivat yamim, tachog l'Adonai Elohecha, b'makom asher yivchar Adonai, ki yivarechecha Adonai Elohecha, B'chol tevuatecha uv'chol ma'aseh yadecha v'hayita ach sameach. Shalosh pe'amim b'shana yera'eh chol zechurecha et penei Adonai Elohecha. B'makom asher yivchar b'chag hamatzot uv'chag hashavuot uv'chag haSukkot v'lo yera'eh et penei Adonai rekam ish kematena yado kivirkat Adonai Elohecha asher natan lach.
Asher koach.
After the ingathering from your threshing floor and your vat, you shall hold the Feast of Booths for 7 days. You shall rejoice in your festival with your son and daughter, your male and female slave, the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow in your communities. You shall hold a festival for Adonai your God 7 days in the place that Adonai will choose. For Adonai your God will bless all your crops and all your undertakings. and you shall have nothing but joy. 3 times a year, on the feast of unleavened bread, on the feast of weeks, and on the feast of booths, all your males shall appear before Adonai your God in the place that God will choose. They shall not appear before Adonai empty-handed, but each with his own gift, according to the blessing that Adonai your God has bestowed upon you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Dad would like, there you go. He's desperately waiting right there. Now, we're going to go ahead and offer prayers for Misha Berach, so I'll invite you to go ahead and have a seat right now. No, why don't you go ahead and take that with you for right now? That would be wonderful. There you go. Thank you. For it's during our Torah service that we offer up blessings of Misha Berach for prayers of healing for those who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. We turn in our prayer books to page 371. And I invite you to think about those family, those friends, acquaintances, people in our lives, and people even who we may not know who are in need of refuah shlema, complete healing. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. Hu yivarech et hacholim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yamale rachamim alehem. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. Cameron, I'm going to need your help. If you will please bring up the Torah cover there. And I'd like to invite forward Herb Neiman to also come forward and have a seat there on the cantor's side as we are going to rise and give honor to the Torah. Yeah, come on this way. Cantor, come on this way, please. Thanks.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la.
The Haftarah for Parshat Re'eh is Isaiah chapter 54, verses 11 through 17. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu no, that's not right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habacher b'Torah uv Moshe avdo uv Yisrael amo uvinvi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. Oniya so ara lo nuchama hine Anochi marbit. Baruch Avanaich Visatir Basa Pirim Visamti Kadechod Shimshotaich Usharaich Le'avnei Ekda V'chol Gevulei Le'avnei Chefet V'chol Banaich Limudei Adonai V'rav Shalom Banaich Bitzdaka Tikonani Rahaki Me'oshek Kilo Tirai Umi Mechita Kilo Tikrav Elayich Hein Gor Yagur Efes Me'oti Migar Itach Alayich Yipol Hine Anochi Barati Charash Nofeach Be'esh Pecham Umotzi Cheli Lema'asehu Ve'anochi Barati Mashchit Lechabeil Kol Keli Yitzar Alayich Lo Yitzlach V'chol Lashon Takumita Lamishpat Tarshi Zot Nachalat Avdei Adonai Vitzdakatam Me'iti Ne'um Adonai. Unhappy, storm-tossed one, uncomforted, I will lay carbuncles as your building stones and make your foundations of sapphires. I will make your battlements of rubies, your gates of precious stones, and the whole encircling wall of gems. And all your children shall be disciples of Adonai, and the great shall be the happiness of your children. You shall be established through righteousness. You shall be safe from oppression, and shall have no fear from ruin, and it shall not come near you. Surely no harm can be done without my consent. Whoever would harm you shall fall because of you. It is I who created the smith to fan the charcoal fire and to produce the tools for his work. So it is I who create the instruments of havoc. No weapon formed against you shall succeed, and every tongue that contends with you at law you shall defeat. Such is the lot of the servants of Adonai, such their triumph through me, declares Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Tzur kol halamim, sadiq b'chol hadarot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mekayem, shechol devarav, emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al ha'nivi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, Likdusha Avalim Nucha Lechavod Ultif Ored Al Hakol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Lach Umavarchim Otach Yitbarach Shimcha Befit Chol Chai Tamid Lelam Vaed Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashabat.
Yasher koach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we're going to return the Torah to the ark.
Okay.
And so thank you very much. Hang on. There we go. Thank you. And I invite everyone to please rise as we turn in our prayer books to page 374. Would you like to join us up here?
Hodu al eretz v'shamayim vayaren keren amo tehila lechol chasida וכך טוב נתתי לכם תורתי אל תעזובו. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. There you go. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Today, as I become a bat mitzvah, I would like to share with you what that means to me. Becoming a bat mitzvah means that I am part of not only my immediate Jewish community, but a worldwide community as well. I feel like I have an automatic connection with other Jews who I meet for the first time. We are connected through religion, traditions, and the importance of the state of Israel. I am proud to be Jewish because Judaism is not just a religion, it is a way of life. Judaism teaches us to have tolerance for all others, regardless of their religion, ethnicity, race, or social status. It also teaches us to be kind-hearted and not to hate. It teaches us to have a meaningful life, to give back to others, and to be caring, and to heal the world. Judaism teaches us that we will always be faced with making decisions, whether they be easy or difficult, and the decisions we make affect our lives. In addition, rewards and consequences are based on these choices. Often we are faced with having to choose between giving into our good or bad side. The choice you make reflects the type of person you truly are, and I always try to make the good choice. I look forward to continuing my Jewish education and to continue performing acts of kindness. I hope someday to have the opportunity to teach and pass down all the wonderful Jewish traditions that I have learned and experienced, and to be able to tell the history of the Jewish people. Part of my preparation for today's service was to study this week's Torah portion and teach an important message. This week's Torah portion, Re'eh, is from the book of Deuteronomy. There are 3 themes from this portion that I would like to share with you and emphasize one in particular. Re'eh means to see. This morning's parashah begins with the statement, "See this day I set before you a blessing and a curse. A blessing if the people obey God's commandments, and a curse if they choose to disobey." The rabbis interpreted this to mean that each of us must see for him or herself and decide whether or not to obey the commandments. Sometimes we make a bad choice that impacts our lives. Say, for example, a young girl starts using drugs because her friends tell her it's cool. Then she uses drugs often and becomes addicted. She later decides to become sober in her 20s and stop using drugs, but no matter how many times she tries to quit, she can't. The lesson is very clear. Make the right decisions now so that later in life you will be able to choose your blessings. The Torah teaches us that we can be a blessing or a curse, and we will always have the free will to decide which one we will become. The second theme focuses on a central location for worshiping God. It is mentioned several times in this parashah that God will determine the site where the temple will be built. Although we no longer have the temple in Jerusalem as our central holy place, we have created our own holy place of worship here at Temple Beth Shalom. A central location in the Jewish community for celebrating, learning, and making connections is so important, and I feel so blessed and lucky to be back in my temple after so many months of rebuilding. How awesome for me that I'm standing on the same bima where my dad, mom, and brother each became B'nai Mitzvah. The third theme I would like to share with you, and one that had the most meaning, contains one of the most important passages in our tradition about tzedakah, or giving to others. It is stated in this week's Torah portion that if there will be among you a needy person from one of your brothers in one of your cities in your land that the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, and you shall not close your hand from your needy brother. Rather, you shall open your hand to him, and you shall lend him sufficient for his needs which he is lacking. In addition, the Torah teaches us that we have a responsibility not only to feed the hungry, but also make sure that the hungry can feed themselves. John Bunyan, an English writer and preacher, once said, "You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you." To me, this means that being charitable or giving tzedakah is a good thing. However, there is a difference between charity and tzedakah. Although it is related to charity, the translation of tzedakah is broader than the definition of charity. Charity suggests kindness and generosity and an act of the powerful and wealthy for the benefit of the poor and needy. Tzedakah means righteousness, fairness, or justice. In Judaism, giving to the poor is not viewed as a generous act. It is simply an act of justice, the performance of a duty, giving the poor their due. It is the right thing to do. For example, when you give charity, you're doing a favor for someone in need. But when you give tzedakah, when you do justice, you're doing what's right and making things the way they really should be. It does not matter what is given, rather, the act of giving is important. Our compassion makes a difference so that even if I don't have much to give, the very act of giving, of offering a kind word, of reaching out in a sympathetic hug, or simply taking the time to listen, will give hope. Of course, any charity you give to is a mitzvah, but some ways of giving are better than others. The best way to give or do anything for someone else is with a smile. And the truth is, when you give to someone else, you have a very good reason to smile. So the next time you are asked to give or do a favor for another, make sure you do it with a smile. We've got a lot to smile about. We should realize that we are lucky to have the opportunity to help another. Speaking of helping others, I have chosen as my mitzvah project a special program at TBS called Mitzvah Meals. Mitzvah Meals is a program that provides food for approximately 1,200 underserved men, women, and children in our community every month. As a volunteer working Mitzvah Meals, you can help to prepare nourishing meals in our temple kitchen every Sunday, prepare baked goods at home and bring them to the kitchen, or supply needed food items to the program. The prepared food is delivered to several organizations including Casa Teresa, Isaiah House, Southwest Community Center, and many others. I have baked brownies and purchased needed food items with money I have set aside for charitable giving. I will be working in some kitchen shifts in the near future. I read this excerpt from A Prayer for People Living in Hunger Around the World by Rabbi Shai Held. This excerpt sums up my feelings about how important it is to help those that cannot help themselves. On this and every day, remember your children created in your image who hunger for bread and thirst for water. Take heed of all those who wander in search of food, whose worlds have gone dark through no fault of their own. If you are looking for a volunteer opportunity where you can feel that you are truly helping someone else, I encourage you to participate in the Mitzvah Meals program. Before I get to thanking those who helped me reach this day, I would like to leave you with a final thought. Recently, Rabbi Cohen shared a story with me. She received a note in the mail with a handwritten letter stating that the writer possessed very little and had no excess, but felt compelled to make a donation to the rebuild of TBS. What was the donation, you may wonder? It was a $1 bill. Although this person may have been poor, they chose to be charitable, a lesson for all of us. To sum up my lesson for today, I leave you with this quote from British writer Jack London. A bone to the dog is not charity. Charity is the bone shared with the dog when you are just as hungry as the dog. Now I would like to acknowledge some very important people who have helped me reach this point in my life. Mom and Dad, thank you for always being there for me unconditionally. I love you both so much. I wouldn't be here today without you. Thank you, Rabbi, for helping me understand the message of today's Torah portion and for challenging me to think deeper. Thank you, Cantor, for helping me with all my prayers, today's Torah portion, and my Haftarah. A big thank you to my grandparents, Grammy, Nana, and Pops, for always supporting me and asking how my studies were going. I truly appreciate all you do for me. Last but not least, I would like to thank my brother Brent. Even though he picks on me, aggravates me, annoys me, and more. All kidding aside, I couldn't ask for a better brother. Thank you.
Beautiful. I'd like to invite forward now your parents.
Lauren, we wish for you to be a person of strong character, but not tough, gentle, but not weak.
We wish for you to be righteous, but not self-righteous, honest, but not unforgiving.
Wherever you journey, may your steps be firm, and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid.
Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship.
May your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and beautiful in the world.
May the voices of the generations of our people move through you, and may the God of our ancestors be your God as well.
May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, and from that sacred place you are connected to all who dwell on earth.
May the stories of our people be upon your heart, and may the grace of the Torah rhythm dance in your soul.
May you have
enough happiness to keep you sweet,
enough trials to keep you strong,
enough sorrow to keep you human,
enough hope to keep you happy,
enough failure to keep you humble,
enough success to keep you eager,
enough friends to give you comfort,
enough wealth to meet your needs,
enough enthusiasm to look forward,
enough faith to banish depression,
enough determination to make each day better than yesterday.
We are so proud of you and love you.
Oh, thank you.
So, Lauren, excuse me real quick. I'm just going to thank you right here. Because we celebrate today not only with all of your family and friends, but also your congregational family. And so we have a few presentations for you. On behalf of our board of directors, Pam Hansberger, and on behalf of our sisterhood, Stacy Nagel, and with our brotherhood, Jack Holmes, and representing the youth of our congregation, Noah Waldstreicher and Rachel Malo.
I've known Lauren for a very long time, and she's very caring and nice, and I'm glad that I'm her friend.
Hey. I've known you for a while, but I only got to know you this year, so that's cool. But you did really good, and you're a really good friend, so good job. And then here's your candle. Oh, thanks. You're welcome.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
First of all, I want to thank you very much for teaching us today, and I want to say Mazel Tov to you and to your family. I'm very excited, pleased to give you this Kiddush cup on behalf of the Temple Beth Shalom Sisterhood. I think about all the cups that you have filled and will fill through mitzvah meals, and so this is a cup for you to fill in your own home, and I hope it gives you much years of happiness and health.
Thank you.
So, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov to you and your family. What a wonderful job you did today. Created a beautiful, warm feeling here in the sanctuary. Thank you very much for that. I understand that you also have many talents and that you're really good with kids. You did a great job this summer at Camp Shalom.
Oh, yeah.
That's a calling. And that's wonderful. It really is a wonderful thing. And the Mitzvah Meals Project is wonderful too. Everybody deserves to eat.
Yeah.
And on behalf of the Brotherhood, I want to present you with a tzedakah box to commemorate today and to inspire you to continue with that, because that's a wonderful calling. Also, I understand that you're quite the tremendous athlete and that you're a hockey fan. Is that true?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite team?
I like the New York Rangers.
Oh, well, then I guess I can't give you this duck souvenir.
I'll take it.
You can take that? Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
I actually joined the board of directors so that I could be here and tell really embarrassing stories about watching you grow up. But we won't do that in the interest of time. Thank you for sharing your gifts today. You are extremely kind-hearted and authentic, and we see that. And it's been lovely watching you grow up. Your family has a very special place in our family's heart and the Jewish traditions. And you shared some great gifts today. So on behalf of the board of directors, you've actually been using the gift we've given you with the book that you have been studying with. Enjoy it. Use it regularly for services and things in your future in the world of Judaism. The other thing I'd like to present you with on behalf of the board of directors is your certificate on becoming a bat mitzvah, along with a certificate to help you continue in the Jewish high school program and a scholarship from NIFTY, North American Federation of Temple Youth, to help you get to Israel so that you can visit your final gift, which is a tree. A tree is planted in your honor in Israel by Rabbi Cohen and Cantor Reinwald. And as Rabbi Cohen says, we have to remind you,
your watering day is?
Thursday.
Thank you. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you. Throughout today, Lauren, you are going to receive a lot of blessings. And I want to encourage everyone that during this celebration today and the days ahead, pull her aside and offer Lauren your blessings as well. And though it is our honor right now to invite your parents to come up and to join us and to join Cantor Reinwald and myself as we get to bless you at the Ark. So if everyone will please rise. Lauren, what I so admire about you, and especially in listening and participating in services with you today, was as you were going through the words and through the prayers, and there would be a moment you go, nope, I need to go back. I admire that, because there's also this level of deep kavod, deep respect of the tradition and of the words and of the blessings, and I could feel it. You wanted to get it just right. So thank you. You're welcome. To every season, to everything, there is a season. This week's parasha is so full. Remember when I told you as you were starting to study it and reading through all of it, I said, don't try to tackle the entire thing because we can't. But I loved what you tackled in the very beginning there of the choices that we make and the blessings that we have in our lives. And also the part, though, that was read throughout this morning, specifically about the 3 festivals, the 3 wonderful holy days of Sukkot, of Passover, of Shavuot, the 3 festivals in which we made pilgrimage to Jerusalem to offer
the best offerings that we could. And true, while we don't do that anymore, we recognize a couple of things. One, these three festivals remind us of the beautiful cycle of the year, because it's the fall harvest, the spring harvest, the summer harvest. It reminds us that our lives are circled around cycles, around seasons. It reminds us to slow down and to enjoy each and every one of the seasons, because they come way too quickly and are gone even quicker. They also remind us to stop and appreciate our gifts, to appreciate both what God gives to us and also to appreciate what we give to each other. Lauren, you are a young woman who gives so much. Watching you, yes, this summer with Camp Shalom and with those youth, oh my goodness, you were amazing. You were definitely getting out of your comfort zone and figuring out how to learn to be a leader, and you achieved that. I see what you do and hear about what you do in sports and in school, and you put your full self into it to grow, to bring your gifts to making life amazing and to achieving all of your goals in so many ways. Lauren, may you continue to enjoy every single season of your life. May you continue to know that you bring such great gifts to our world, but may you also enjoy the gifts of your own life. Don't forget to look back and to be able to say, I'm proud of what I have accomplished. I'm proud of all I have done. And those times where we may not hit that goal, to be able to say, I will do better and I will continue to grow. Because Lauren, with all of those gifts, you bring us blessings. But now we want to be able to bless you as well. With blessings from our Torah, blessings from our people, our community, and life, and from your family.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and watch over you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's light shine on you, in you, and through you. May God be truly gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Lauren, may you continue to enjoy every single blessing that God bestows upon you. May God continue to bless you with a life that is filled with goodness, a life that is filled with happiness, and a life that is filled with shalom, with peace. Amen.
Amen.
We turn back in our Sidurim for our final blessings, Aleinu Leshabeach, on page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing now as our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us. Yet truly the power of memory is so precious to us. We remember those who have recently departed from our family, from our community: Mary Megley, Harriet Ringel, Jack Bluestein, and Howard Jacobs.
We also recall those whose yahrzeits we recall on this Shabbat and during this coming week. Jack Berman, Rivka Berman, Ria Chemers, Solomon Dorschkind, Harold Einbinder, Mildred Fine, Francis Freed, Sarah Friedman, Bessie Glaske, Michael Glazer, Sidney Glazer, Donald Gray, Joseph Hanfling, Flora Heitzer Myers, A.M. Jackman, Sheila Joseph, Marion Katz, Lily Lenson, Helen Pollock, Bernard Silver, Nathan Singer, Vera Wald, Eva Zybel, and also, this is also the yahrzeit of great-grandmother to Lauren, Yvonne Walensevich, who you are also named after. If there is anyone here who is in the period of mourning of Shiva, Shloshim, or Shana, is observing a yahrzeit of a loved one whose name I have not called, I invite you, as I face in your direction, please share their names with us. For all of them and for all those who have given their lives al Kiddush Hashem, for the sanctification of God's holy name, and for all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We turn in our Sidurim to page 598 for Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, bi'alma divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mavarach le'elam lomei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Before we conclude our service, just one brief thing to say is that after our closing song, we will invite you all to join us there through the door in the back to the Kiddush area, where we will have a Kiddush and a motzi in honor of Lauren becoming a bat mitzvah. So we'll invite you to take a little cup of grape juice, a little piece of challah. Don't eat, don't drink, because we're going to come and do blessings together. And Brent, why don't you come on up here as well, my friend? As I invite you to put your arms around somebody next to you. If you don't know who they are, say hello. And join with us with our closing song.
Say shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Brachim atem v'barachem, brachim atem v'tzeitachem mi'atav yad olam. Blessed were you in coming into this place of worship, and blessed may you be as you go forward to a Shabbat of health, of happiness, and of peace. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone.